Good morning and welcome back. A new year means lots of new laws.
Lots and lots. Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher joins us this morning with details on some of them that he had to do with because there were 750.
That's a lot of laws.
Altogether, right?
Probably a couple too many.
But 10 of them that you touched on.
And those were all great laws. The ones I did were great. Some of the other ones were, we'll see.
Okay, let's start with Chelsea's law. Obviously, you have sponsored that from the very beginning.
Right. So we authored that in the tragedy. And we actually saw in Sacramento a chance for people came together and solved a problem. They set politics aside. They did the right thing in passing the bill. But we said when we authored that bill that if it's not properly enforced, if it's not properly implemented, it's pointless. And so we have had a rigorous oversight to really make sure. And so we did legislation to make sure that parts of it are being properly implemented. And we'll continue to monitor that and make sure the commitment to the community is fulfilled.
You also touched on the adoption process, something close to your heart. Yeah,
a very important issue to me personally. I think, it's just a wonderful option. It's been a great blessing to my family. But as with a lot of things in state government, it's not easy. It's not always efficient, and it's very expensive. And so what we're trying to do is take action. We've brought a broad coalition of people together to say, hey, how do we streamline the process, make it work better, and get more children in more loving homes. Mm-hmm. And so our legislation was signed last year, and we'll continue to monitor that as well.
There are some new laws that will affect our military members here in town. Yep. And what are those?
Well, there's a number of them. We did one of them that we're going to be pushing a lot this year. We did a veterans home bill. In a period of budget difficulties, there have been cutbacks there, but a lot of times the generosity of the community steps forward. And so as you file your income taxes this year, legislation we authored allows you to donate money to the California veterans homes, to really honor our commitment to those who went before us, and a lot of World War II veterans in those homes. And so it's a really amazing opportunity.
Also, some of the veterans coming back can declare candidacy. What's that about?
Well, that was legislation in response to a good friend of mine, Jeff Gorell, who got elected to the Assembly, was called back on active duty. I've been through that a few times, and to make sure that he can still file and run for office. Because you shouldn't be penalized for serving your country and willing to be out there. I just talked to him. He was in Afghanistan over the holidays, and he's coming home in March.
Very cool. Okay, my interest was sparked on this beer maker law. What's going on with beer makers?
So one of the challenges is so many of our small businesses, they want to thrive, they want to grow, but government gets in the way, and they have a regulatory environment that's burdensome. And so what we did is we didn't just talk about regulatory reform. We went out, we listened to small businesses, we said, what does it mean? We brought a coalition of stakeholders together, and we passed and signed into law a solution that eases the burden on this industry. One of the industry folks said, hey, this legislation saves me $85,000 in startup costs and fees and permitting in order to help me get my business up and running. And we need more of that, not just for this industry, but across the board to allow small businesses to really grow.
Well, yeah, and then they can hire more people,
more people, they pay more taxes, we can take care of our schools and our public safety. It really is about getting the economy going, and that's what I think looking forward. Sacramento needs to really, and DC and the city, I mean all of them, really need to say, how can this be the year where we actually solve problems? We put the pettiness aside, we put the problems of the past aside, and we focus on getting people back to work.
The headline on that measure says beer, but it's about small businesses.
It's about small business, and it's about having a regulatory environment that encourages you to grow your business.
How about the homelessness? There was one involving the courts and young people.
Yeah, this came about. I went out and actually surveyed. I think you got to go out and you got to see a problem, and understand it. You got to spend the time out. And so I went out and did the survey of the homeless. I got involved because of the homeless veterans. We have Iraqi and Afghan veterans out on the streets. And it was interesting because one of the things I heard as I was doing the surveys was a lot of the younger people said, hey, well, I can't get a job because they garnish my wages. And I said, but you're homeless. And so what this was a measure that we brought a group of people together and said, you're still going to be on the hook for your obligation. But if you're homeless, we want you to get a job, and we're going to remove a barrier. So we're going to set aside that wage garnishment until such time as you're not homeless to really get people working again. Because what's important is not only getting them off the streets, but getting them back employed, getting them in a job, getting them in housing, and solving the problem long term. And this was legislation that was defeated the first time, but we didn't give up. We went back, we made some changes, we made a little bit more compelling argument, and we brought it back, and it was passed and signed into law.
Okay, so about 8 laws down, 700 and something more, right?
I'm good. I can hang out.
It's only a 5-hour show.
We could do them all.
Well, thank you, and we like to ask everybody who stops by any New Year's resolutions for you.
One of them, I think whether you're certainly in political life and definitely in business, you really strive to have that right balance. between time with your family and time you devote professionally. And it's going to be a busy year with the mayor's race and what we're doing in the assembly.
Right.
And so really focused on trying to maintain that focus and make sure my boys and my wife get the attention they need.
Tough to do when you're running
Yeah,
for mayor.
it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but you have to. It's the rest of it's kind of pointless.
Best of luck to you.
I appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Take care.
Okay.
Yep.